How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the weekly roundup. I am joined by my two awesome friends and co-hosts, Nick from Vinyl Casket Comics and Manny from Manny Reads Comics. And I don't know if for anyone that didn't have a chance to tune into our last show, we've changed up our format a little bit. Instead of going through our top three picks one by one, each of us are gonna let you know what our top three picks are, and then we just do a little discussion and talk about why we like them, what's good about them, and even if maybe we disagree with each other's picks. And then we're gonna go into our disappointment for the week, and that can be anything that just we weren't really happy with, whether it's a panel, something related to a show, movie, and anything comic book related. And from there, we move on to our top cover, and we finish up with letting you guys know what we're going to be looking forward to next week and what we're most excited about. But we're starting a new month, so that means new brackets. Just to do a little recap, we're going to go through what our overall top pick was for last month. And for me, it was Rogues Gallery number 2. Honestly, Rogues Gallery has been amazing. It's really been one of my favorite books this year so far, and we're only in issue number 2, so I'm hoping that it keeps up that momentum. Nick, what about you, man?
Last issue of Rating in Black smashed my month.
Nice.
And
Nice.
I went with Slumber number 6. The ending brought everything to a conclusion, a solid conclusion.
Hopefully though, not a permanent,
Hopefully not
conclusion and
permanent.
end.
If you want some background, you guys can check out my rant that happened in the episode that issue came out the week that came out. So if you're interested, look up what week the last issue of Slumber came out. Go over to that episode, watch it, and agree with me.
I believe that was episode 32.
Damn,
Yeah.
Manny took that personally, man.
Got that right here.
What, week
He does,
32?
man.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll see what this one brings. I think that there's a lot of cool stuff coming up. We got a lot of indies towards the last part of the year coming out, so hopefully we get some really cool stuff. But with that said, let's dive into our top picks. So for me, coming in at number 3 is the Boogyman, number 1. Coming in at number 2, the new champion of Shazam, number 2. And for my top pick, this one, I don't know. It was a toss up, but between new champion, but it ended up being Moon Knight. Had to be Moon Knight. So yeah, those are my top 3 picks. Nick, what were yours, man?
Well, thank you for setting the bar so low, Carlos. I really appreciate that.
This guy every week, man. Every week.
Because we'll start off with saying that when I was in my shop, I did look at the Boogeyman issue 1, and I looked through it, and I immediately threw up everywhere.
Come on, man.
Taste, dude. You really got to set the bar a little higher. Like, come on, this is in kindergarten reading level. All right,
this guy.
So we're gonna start off number 3. Easy for me, bro. Easy. Issue 6 of She-Hulk. No doubt about it. We're gonna go then with number 2 being Indie. We're gonna do issue 1 of 4 of Erratic Recharged. Solid. Then we're gonna finish things up. And the pick of the week, baby, is gonna be issue 127 of Batman.
Man, you're so basic.
Man,
I don't know what about that was basic, but okay.
Bro, if I set the bar low, Jesus, man.
I really.
What are you, man?
My back hurts, man. Like I hate carrying you guys. It's heavy. It's heavy, man. Oh. I will say my runner up number 4 is Boogeyman number 1.
Okay.
All right. It this week was really good for me. I like rearranged my list so many times.
What are you carrying? You carrying foam, styrofoam?
So, but Batman 127 is number 3. Moon Knight 15 is my number 2 pick, and my top pick is Once in Future number 29.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so I do want to talk about Boogeyman and why it didn't quite make my top. It's
Okay.
just basically because it's a number one.
It's a number one pick.
But it did so much. It added it's a whole story in just one issue. Like
Yep.
it gave a background. I like the villains. I like the hero. I feel bad for the main protagonist child.
Yep.
It was a good solid start to where I'm like, I can't wait to read the next issue. I need it to be
Yep.
next month already. So
Yep.
but everything else, all the other stories that I chose, they
Yep.
have established storylines that got me a little bit more excited
Okay.
as I was reading them. So that's the only reason that Boogeyman didn't quite make it.
Okay. I mean, for me, it it ended up beating out Once in Future, because Once in Future, in the order that I read my comics, Once in Future was sitting solidly at number 3. And then again today, I got the chance to pick up Boogeyman, and the reason why it beat it out just a bit is because even though Once in Future has an established storyline, and what happened in it with Rose becoming king, basically, and getting this awesome armor and costume, all that was epic. But the storyline that the Boogeyman is setting up, and all of the background that you get and the setup just got me a little bit more excited than that one moment that we get with Rose. Everything else that happened in What's in Future is stuff that, I mean, for me at least, I feel like it's been going on for the last 5 issues, man. It's not really moving forward that much, and we're getting kind of like piecemeals. I'm not saying it's boring. It's fun. It's good, but there was just that one epic moment, and it wasn't enough to pretty much beat out the setup and the cool, I guess, not mythology, but the cool, I guess, like, I don't know, history that the Boogeyman is setting up. So that's why.
Okay.
But Once the Future was awesome though, man.
Nick, you should have picked up Boogeyman.
So I did. Like I said, I picked it up.
You should have
At the shop.
taken it home.
My problem here is I didn't like all seriousness. I'm not messing with you guys now. I didn't like the artwork. I looked through it. It didn't really click with me.
The artwork to
me.
I'm
not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I looked at it and I was like, and I was already cutting books that week, like this week. I was already cutting down. So like I looked at it and I was like, no, this isn't, I wasn't blown away immediately. Read the first page. I was like, okay, this is cool, but like,
yeah.
But the first page is like nothing to do with the story, honestly.
So I just was like, whatever. Eventually, maybe I pick it up.
Yeah.
You know what? I do enjoy reading these indie titles as trades.
Mm-hmm.
So it could always be that. It could always go to that. But no, I the artwork didn't connect with me enough to be like, oh, I need this.
For me, the artwork was truly one of the highlights of this comic, man.
Maybe once you read the story, the artwork blending with the story, hit some kind of emotion.
What's the lighting situation at your shop, man? Like, is there good lighting? Like, I don't know. That's bad.
I don't know, man.
Bad take.
Because this is a number one because it is number one for everyone that's watching. I mean, me and Manny personally really recommend this series. Quick synopsis: there's a little boy that believes in the Boogeymen, because in this world there's more than one, and he's obsessed with storylines that have to do with the Boogeyman. And ultimately, there are these beings that hunt down, from what I understood, that hunt down these different boogeymen that have existed throughout time, known as the Elders. And it looks like one of the boogeymen that we get introduced into this issue might be a hero in a way.
Man, and looks like we took this completely different. Like this, yeah, completely different.
How did you understand?
I took it as every creature that we saw is a boogeyman. Everything, like the father one, the one in the house, the one that came to the house, and the one that came to the house, the woman, the old lady, he possessed some human. It
So some
looked like,
human, yeah,
and caused him to do whatever.
correct.
But then she called out another person, and I took that as another boogeyman. And these are all boogeymen. And the way she was talking, it made it seem like we're all boogeymen, and there's a few people in our species that decided that it's not okay to kill or do what we like to do. These few people are the ones, like the one that's in the house that's a boogeyman, but no longer kills. No longer it's a pacifist, maybe.
So you took it as basically that they hunted down the other boogeymen known as the elders.
No, I think that the elders are also boogeymen. The
That's what
elders
I'm
most
saying.
likely became pacifists, and so all these other boogeymen, like the rest of the population, decided that this subspecies, I guess, no longer is good enough. They killed them off. A few survived. This one here, known as Father Death, or they think it's Father Death, is
Father
one of
Death,
the
yeah.
last survivors. So
Okay.
that's how I took it.
Interesting.
I took it as like everyone's a boogeyman, but these are like a
Interesting.
few
Okay.
outliers, and like we don't like you doing that, so we're gonna kill you.
Gotcha. Okay. I took it as like these are some other, like kind of beings because
Yeah.
they also they talk about like running into nightmares, and like it's kind of like this all of these different kinds of creatures from fables or stories, and I just figured that these are some kind of, I don't know, demons or hunters that were at, I don't know if it's a war or whatever you want to
At this
call it,
point,
but
we're both right
who knows?
at this point.
Yeah, who knows? Okay, but point
Both
is,
sound stupid.
no, both sound actually great. It's a cool spin on the boogeyman tale.
Boogeyman. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, that's a quick synopsis. Great art. Great art. Don't listen to Nick.
Nate, how come you said out of all of the Batman? Batman was good. Don't get me wrong; it's my top 3. But like Batman number 1.
So my reasoning behind it is I really enjoyed going into this story from the last issue, and I really enjoyed the artwork, the backup story, and the whole how like Failsafe was created by Batman's Failsafe. Like that was like really interesting and cool.
That's
Like I
cool.
thought it was fun. The whole
Very
Tim
Batman.
Drake like being a highlight throughout like the issue was really cool. Seeing like Nightwing like try really messed up trying to hold like the city together, like as ever don't keep her mask on. He like as he's like falling apart.
Mhm.
I
Yeah, I would say my only problem with it was like I feel bad for anyone who actually cared about the Zur and R part, because like it's kind of like a what's it called, a clickbait, I guess. You saw that at the last issue, you're ready to see it here, and it's just like it was there for half the issue and that's it.
Yep.
Yeah, but I didn't think it was that bad. I enjoyed it.
I liked it. I don't care about Zur and R.
The thing is that
It,
none of us
it,
really
I
cared that
think
much about him.
I think that the word maybe you were looking for is that it felt gimmicky, right?
There you go. I guess, yeah.
You know.
But I
I
liked
mean,
how that personality that he created was his failsafe.
Yeah.
And the whole
Yeah.
flashback with Superman was really interesting, and how that leads to it. And he's like, "Oh, you're my failsafe." And he's like, "No, how do I defeat you if you have a plan to defeat all of us?"
Batman straight up got caught lying. It's like, oh yeah, you're my failsafe. Okay. Like, yeah.
Yeah, but then he shows up. Like,
and I actually really enjoyed like this issue of a Batman. It was honestly good. I was worried that it was gonna turn super goofy. I think that I mentioned when Zur first like showed up, but I personally really enjoyed the callback, to Batman having this contingency plan for all of the heroes for how to defeat them. Whenever that topic comes up, because it comes up often enough,
pretty often.
between
It comes up pretty much
comes up pretty often,
anytime you think about Batman, it comes up.
Yeah, whenever that plot point again is brought up, I personally still haven't gotten tired of it, because that's kind of what gives Batman that edge, right? I do like the fact that, like you mentioned, Nick, he had it. It wasn't just a failsafe, but there was a failsafe for his failsafe. That's how potentially dangerous Batman can be, right?
That his failsafe made a failsafe, like
Correct.
made, and then the
Correct.
failsafe was like, no, I don't care, pure Batman.
Yeah, but
Like
like kind of like you mentioned, Manny, it all felt like it was just to get to the point that Batman needs a failsafe from his failsafe, and Zer was just kind of Zer was just kind of like a throwaway. Um, I would have much rather it just been straight up that Batman created failsafe because again he needed something to
Just
stop
ready to
him.
be prepared.
Yeah,
I
I
feel
like
the
like
whole idea,
I
the whole
like the whole
idea,
element that Batman didn't know that he created failsafe.
yeah.
I thought that
it,
was interesting because if he knew, if he made a failsafe, he would make a failsafe for the failsafe and then would defeat having a failsafe. So by him accessing to create a
yeah,
failsafe against him, it created a real failsafe that he's actually struggling with.
yeah. It
In
Yeah,
just
case he
no.
lost it, it would have actually been effective.
yeah.
If
I
it
mean,
was established that
my
he made failsafe, it wouldn't
my
have been a good failsafe.
so far right now, my only issue and why it didn't rank that high is because I just feel like I mentioned before, it's just another robot, man. You know what I mean? There
Yeah,
is
but it's a
no
robot that Batman made.
right, but at least right now, who knows? I mean, Failsafe can obviously, that the storyline can
First
continue,
on,
but
it's a robot
there's
that
no
beat the
real.
crap out of the entire Bat family.
That's dude,
They're all
sure,
human.
whatever.
They're all
But
humans.
but what I'm saying is there's no real depth, to Failsafe. Like this isn't a Batman villain. I would necessarily say it really is just
As of yet.
as of yet, it really is just Batman fighting himself. And what bugs me, again, a little bit, or I'm just kind of disappointed, is kind of how I mentioned that I was hoping this would not turn into another Brother Eye situation, like we had during the whole New 52, and it ended up, leading into part of the whole Earth 2 catastrophe and going into rebirth, all of that. But Batman created Brother Eye. It ended up, going fucking Terminator, and his own creation ended up creating more harm than good, and he created his own problem, right? And right now, kind of the same thing is happening. I don't like the idea of Batman continuing to be responsible for you know having a combat or defeat shit that he's the one that makes up,
I
if that makes sense.
think the
You know
main
what I mean?
reason what I'm getting at is the main thing to take away from this is that Batman is not young anymore. He's showing a lot of wear and tear in this last few issues,
Sure.
and I think this is. I'm hoping honestly that this is where it goes, where Dark Crisis is failing. Dark Crisis was supposed to be Legacy's taking over, blah blah, and then
Hmm.
decided to bring the Justice League back. Who knows why? But here, if Zdarsky goes down this route, I would applaud him. If he either kills Batman or he maims him in a way where, hey, I'm out. He like when he broke his back, like he's just
Sure.
gonna be out. He's not gonna be out in the field anymore, and
Sure.
someone's gonna have to take over. So
But
at this point, it looks like he's setting up Tim to take over, not
sure.
as Batman, but like just a
Sure.
legacy
But
character taking over.
sure.
So
But you
one
know
of
what I
the
mean, though. But you know what I mean, though, when I say that. Let's say that does happen. The point still is that it was caused by something that he
Right,
did instead of
right. But I mean, I
instead of
think
this.
it's
but
like
that's how good
not the
Batman is.
point
That the only person that can defeat Batman is himself.
that it's
See
kind
that
of yeah, that's kind of the gimmick right there.
see that and again, see that, to me it's like, it doesn't really make it, to me it doesn't make it as
That's because
compelling.
you're so easily defeatable. You wouldn't understand. It's not relatable for you because you're just a peon.
Sure. All
Thing
right.
that really brought it for me to be a number 3
Uh-huh.
was the ending, just Superman showing. Even though Superman should be in another galaxy, Superman shouldn't even be there. But the way he showed up, all shadows, a little
Yeah,
hint
that was
No,
dope.
of red.
Superman's back.
Yeah, I don't know when he got back or anything. I don't read Action Comics, so I don't know what's going on there. But
Yeah, I don't either, but I know he's back.
seeing him return, seeing him with the booming Midwestern voice or whatever, and saying like, back away from my friend." That was
Yeah,
amazing. That
totally.
was that ending is what really brought it up to be number 3 for me.
So my theory I have that kind of goes with what Manny's thinking about what Chip might be doing. What are the odds that Chip is in the works with oh crap, what's his name?
Mark Waid,
Mark Wade, with this whole Batman versus Superman thing,
Robin.
Batman versus Robin thing, and like they tie the storylines together into Damian taking over, because Damian's title's over.
Yeah, but
Tim's about
Damian
to
doesn't
have a
want it.
solo title.
I guess that would make
Nightwing, no, they're not going to get rid of Nightwing to have another Nightwing be Batman thing again.
no.
Yeah, I don't see that.
And
happening.
I don't think Red Hood could feasibly take over. So it could be Damian leading the kind of what they did with the Superman title with John Kent.
Maybe.
Yeah. I just don't see. I mean, why even bring Tim Drake in to begin with?
Because he's about to get a mini series or solo series. So
That's
giving
true.
him some spotlight in this gives him
To
the
boost his title.
That would be good. I don't want to see Damian as Batman or anything, but yeah, that sounds like it would happen.
Yeah, but overall though, I enjoyed this issue. It was fun.
Batman gets his crap beat by a robot, then he has to take on his son and loses. So what did I want to? Oh, so Carlos, you read this, right?
I did, yeah.
I just want to say I didn't think it would end up in your top 5. I assumed it wouldn't. This was a good week in comics.
Yeah. But it doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy the shit out of this issue, just
So
like
I
I've
want to
enjoyed.
talk about it a
Just
little
like
bit.
I've enjoyed every issue.
Really, really good issue. Rainbow Rowell is doing an amazing job of this character. Great cameos. And I think this is a real game changer of an issue, because one of the things that she's been dealing with, She-Hulk, is she's back from being savage, and she's now like, hey, like
trying to balance her personal life with
and be a lawyer
kind
again.
of like the show. Kind of like the show.
Yes, but except this has more weight of past events.
Correct. Yeah.
So like her whole thing is that she was kind of with her like nemesis. Like she got a job working for like this person that she kind of has like history with. And it's interesting because the whole deal was no superhuman clients, no heroes. You take on real cases, and we see this like switch flip, this real big argument, and then all she has to say is one thing, and then the lady's like, "Nah, okay, we're down. We're doing this. And it's that she took on all of Krakoa on retainer
as a client.
Damn.
Yeah.
Like Nightcrawler shows up and is like, "Yo,
we need you."
And she's like, "Oh, I can't have superhuman clients." He's like, "That's why I'm wearing this baseball hat."
Damn, that sucks that she's gonna lose her client though. Like every single one of them, they're all gonna die.
But you know what? It was a really cool moment in that book. It really boosted where the potential of this series is going to go. Now that her partner is down to help superhumans, and isn't like going to be that constant fight now. I like that.
To me, this book is one of those books that, even though it hasn't made, actually, I think it made my top 3 once, but point is, it really hasn't been in my top 3. But it's one of those books that every time that I get, I know that I'm gonna enjoy the hell out of it, it just goes up against some really tough books, man. You know,
Yeah, the week
um,
they put it out, they always put it out on a really tough week.
they always put it out on the weeks that Once in Future, comes out, which has made my top a couple times. The It comes out just about every time that there's a Moon Knight comic. It comes out and it goes up against Moon Knight, dude. Like goes up against Moon Knight, like Once in Future, goes up against. I think it went up against Radiant Black once. Like it it's just tough, but it doesn't mean that it's not a fun book, man. And it's been winning me over, and I've been enjoying it more and more as every issue comes out. Honestly, kind of like the show. I know a lot of people have been talking shit about the show, but personally, every
Good
episode,
show. Good
every
show.
episode, I'm enjoying it more and more and more. It's just a funny show, dude.
Yeah.
So
Um,
yeah, man,
I highly
I like it,
suggest this series. Um, Lots of cameos,
which I
especially
love,
this issue.
which I love.
Hellcat, Nightcrawler, and
Yep,
obviously Jack of Hearts has been recurring.
yep.
The ending of this issue was did not see that coming. I didn't see the direction of this book going there. At
And
least
the art,
that well, and the artwork
yeah,
is like you're about to say,
and the artwork,
incredible.
incredible, just truly incredible. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Um, I I want to talk about Moon Knight a little bit. Um, because I've been loving, man, this reintroduction of all three personas, working together, and uh Mark basically really diving into his uh DID, and really exploring it, and having interactions between the three. I think more so than many other series, and this has only been going on for like 2 issues.
Yep.
But the dialogue and the characterization of Moon Knight, and of all characters, just continues to be top notch, man. There wasn't too much crazy stuff that happened in this issue, but I just enjoyed them in a way working together, to track down more information on Tutor, right? On Tutor,
Yeah.
I think is the name. Yeah, Tutor. Uh, the new vampire head honcho guy, and all of them using their specific set of skills. Jake Lockley, going into the seedy underworld, cracking some skulls and using his connects. Mark being Mark, obviously, and I love Steven, pretty much having to get like a haircut, going shopping, and really seeing him, fall into his own persona, and using his influence, his charm, all of that stuff to again work together as a team in a way. That was awesome, man. And probably my favorite scenes in Moon Knight is when he's talking to Dr. Sturman. Those conversations are great, man. They don't feel cheesy. They don't feel like cliche patient seeing psychiatrist. I just love the way that Jim McKay is writing, and the attention that he's putting to each of the characters.
He's treating his DID in a much better way than a certain someone in Dead Lucky is treating other diagnoses. Um, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about with Dead
Yeah,
Lucky.
yeah,
You
yeah,
got
yeah.
PTSD. You got
Yep.
the whole trope of like a good cop in a bad organization. All this stuff, but they're all like really bad cliches. Whereas Jed McKay is doing this, and it does not, like you just said, it does not feel like I'm watching a Lifetime movie or whatever, like a Hallmark movie. Like it's very genuine, and I like all the interactions between Mark and Reese, Mark and Soldier, and basically all the people that help him. And I
Yep.
really want Soldier to become like a Moon Knight sidekick, like Crescent Boy or something, because he he needs to stay around. He better not die. I know he's a vampire now. He better not
Yeah.
die. And if he becomes Crescent Boy, I want y'all here to hear first. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, man. But
Um,
yeah, that's why Moon Knight's top pick, man. It's just it's just that good, So yeah,
so it's my number 4. I just want to put that out there.
yeah,
It just missed the top 3, and I feel like it was a really good issue. But if I had to put it up against the last issue of Moon Knight, I would say the last issue was better in my opinion. I think that was my top pick that week.
it was.
Um,
I think it was. I think it
so
was all of our top picks as well, man. When it came out, I think
no, you picked something stupid
no,
like Shazam.
no, something ended up beating it out that
Yeah,
week.
the worst comic that's ever come out, Shazam.
So let's talk about new champion of
No, we're
Shazam
not talking about it.
real
We're
quick
not talking about it.
You brought it
because
up. You brought it
because
up.
because it was my
We're
number
not
2
talking
pick.
about it. We're gonna talk about Erratic and how you guys should hop on this book.
I
I read
haven't
the
even
first
read.
volume.
You did?
I read the first issue of
You
the
did?
first
Oh, okay.
volume, and it was all right, but like not enough to even get me to go into the second issue. So
Oh,
So
I didn't even
I'm,
read the
I'm
first volume at
telling
all.
you, you don't even need to read what happened in the past. You're good. You just have to read this. Amazing artwork.
Who's the artist?
Artist is Brian Reber.
Can't remember. Not familiar, but
Incredible. I
okay.
think this is an awesome series. I think this is awesome. Everything. It was relatable. It was fun. It was interesting. It was good. It's the next Miles Morales Spider-Man.
is it? Yeah, I was about to ask. Is the main character
Come
still
on,
a
man.
like freshman in high school?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
The next Miles, dude, seriously, the next Miles Morales. All right,
Okay.
man.
Yes.
But
You're not talking about Shazam. I'm sorry, but
I'm talking about Shazam. So
Shazam was a good book.
it's a good book, man. Uh, Mary Marvel is awesome, and the dilemma that she's facing right now in terms of wanting to pursue her personal dreams and have like a personal life, a personal identity with the weight of having to be the new Shazam, and seeing that conflict that she has. It was just great, man. Especially picking up off of the cliffhanger that her foster parents have gone missing, forces her to go back home after finally feeling like, hey, after going off to
Yeah, that
college
was
and
pretty shitty. That
yeah, it
sucks.
was
Like I felt so bad for her, and like I know that Pedro. I've never read any Shazam books, so I
me
only know
neither.
Pedro from the movie, and even with that, like I could really feel like his what is it disappointment in himself, I guess, because he couldn't
Yep,
protect his parents. His parents are
yep,
missing. But,
yep.
nah.
And you know what? You felt for both sides, right? Because Billy ended up giving the title and powers to Mary, but nobody else in the Shazam family were able to get them. And even though Hoppy, by the way, Hoppy is the magical bunny that is
Second
I
best animal in
I
in,
want to
in
say
superheroes.
I want to say the psychic to Mary has become a personal favorite to me. And if anything happens to Hoppy, I'm gonna
Oh, he's
riot,
done. He ain't coming back.
dude. If he's done, I'm gonna riot. But he tells Mary like, hey, Billy said that there wasn't enough, there wasn't enough magic, enough power to go around for everybody. It's still shitty for the rest of the family to feel like, hey, he picked her because we're not good enough, and to also see the frustration in Mary that she doesn't want her family to feel that way. You feel that, and it was conveyed very well in the writing. It was conveyed extremely well in the art. Art is top notch for me. Like
Yeah.
it is beautiful art, man. It's just beautiful art.
Evan Shaner. I think that's his name.
Uh, Doc Shaner, Doc Shaner.
Doc?
Um, I think right.
I'm about to look it up.
Look it up. Don't want to be wrong.
It is Evan
Um,
Shaner, but he might go by Doc. As
Gotcha.
far as
Evan Shaner. Okay.
always wrong.
Um, uh, but yeah, man, it's just great seeing her having to carry the responsibility of having to be a hero, and coming back to search for her parents and be there for her family, and just kind of hearing about how they're all going through their own um, personal problems, their own rough patches. Um, you know, you just feel for her.
It's a little weird how she acts in the spotlight though. Like she has been Mary, what is it, Mary Marvel before, so she's been a hero. She's been in the spotlights like that before, but this time, now I guess it's because it's just her.
It's just
Like
her.
she got surrounded by like media personnel and stuff, and she was like, I don't know what to do, and like just escapes. But it's
Yeah.
just like, why is this
Well,
different?
from I mean, the way that I looked at it, and just like you, dude, I have fucking next to nothing knowledge of Shazam and the Shazam family, but I mean, Billy is like who I know, and I think that kind of translates to what she means by like I've never been the one in the spotlight. Like I don't talk to the media, there's a bunch of Shazam family members, but who really fights with the Justice League? Who's shown in events? Who you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
it's Billy. It's Shazam.
And
Um,
one of the things that really what I really liked about this book too, it's my number 5 book. Um, there was a scene where she's like fighting the villain of the book, and she goes, "You know what? I'm done playing around. I'm not holding back anymore. Here we go." And you think it's gonna be this huge badass moment, and like it just immediately bounces off and like hits her. And I'm just like, that sucks. Because again, the art Evan Shaner did amazing, and so when she like stood up and did that, like, you could kind of even hear the background music, as it's going, it's happening, and
yep,
then she does everything, and it's just like secondhand cringe. It was like, oh no, that damn,
yep,
that sucks.
yep,
But
absolutely.
like so like the
Um,
emotional spectrum of this book is just all the way across. You get a little bit of everything.
Absolutely. But yeah, man, that's my favorite. That's why it's one of my favorites. So yeah. But that's all for me, man. Like in terms of my picks, Boogeyman, New Champion Shazam, Moon Knight. Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I haven't talked about is Once and Future. It's my number 1 book solely because like literally it's the last book before the ending. So when I was doing my rankings, I realized like how hard it is now that we're past the halfway mark. It's
Mm-hmm.
like it's hard to start to stay unbiased with, hey, I've read this whole other storyline, but I need to judge it by just this issue.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to do that when you're at the end of the line with a couple of books. Some books are at the beginning of the line, so you can't, like, even though they're starting off pretty high, you can't really judge it at the same criteria that you would something that's in the middle and then something's in the end.
Right.
I would rather talk about though is Twig. Did you guys read Twig?
I
Yes.
read Twig. So go ahead. Go ahead.
I'll say, I admit, overall, the story is a 4 out of 5.
Yep.
Overall,
Yep.
the
100%.
story is good, but each issue on their own, I stand by my 3.5s. This last issue was also like a 3.5, but the only reason, like overall, that I see it reminded me. I forgot from the very first book, but it reminded me in this book that this is not a hero's journey. This is not anything. This is just a placeling for that hero. This is the man behind the man, basically.
Absolutely.
Um,
Yes.
and
I love
and
that, by the
seeing
way.
it,
I
yeah,
love that.
seeing that in that eye, and then seeing the hero like pick up and like not even give a shit of where that stone came from. It's like, oh, there's the stone. That's what I needed. Boom, and that's it. Like then I was like, it makes more sense why we didn't get a more detailed story now. That makes a lot more sense, and I appreciate it for what it is. But I stand by what I said though.
All right. Fair enough.
Maybe next volume it'll be his hero story, and who
Yeah,
knows,
yeah.
whatever.
But
So
sorry, go ahead.
I just want to say, because we all agreed, we were very confused at the end of the last issue how they were going to wrap up this story arc.
Yeah.
It was very loosely open ended. There was lots of loose ends.
Yeah.
left open, and it left us on a cliffhanger. So we were like, how the heck are they gonna get all the information they've already teased has to get done, plus this new information they just added at the end? How is this gonna work? There's no way. We were like, there's no way this is the last issue. It's gonna be bad because they're gonna rush it. I think this is executed beautifully.
Yep.
I was thoroughly impressed because I went into this issue expecting it to be like, okay, like there's no way they're gonna pull this off. It's gonna be some half-ass ending, and it's gonna lead into a second volume. For us to wait 6 months to find out how it happens, how it ends. And no, they completed the storyline, and it felt well paced. It was very strange because honestly, the first two issues come in, they're great, they're awesome. They get us all like excited with the artwork and the world and the creatures. And then you're in issue 3, and you're like, okay, we've done nothing, and we're so far behind. You're like, okay, the grand scheme of this storyline, as they're telling us, is this massive journey he has to go on across this grand,
World.
landscape, and we only got 2 more issues after this, and we haven't done any of it. How is this even gonna work? And then issue 4 comes, and you're like, okay, we still really haven't done that much. Like,
I mean, I feel that a lot did happen, a lot was done. It's just that, again, like Manny mentioned, we were expecting that, hey, he still has to, fight some ultimate villain, or he needs to save the world. And like Manny mentioned, the fact that they ended up wrapping it up as, hey, the Placeling, he really is just this one part, this extremely important part, but he's just this one part in the overall, like Manny mentioned, story of a hero taking on the ultimate evil. But I think the overall premise was really just this one journey, this beautiful journey across, like you said, Nick, this vast landscape. And it really was just us to spend time with Twig, Splat, and what's the like kind of hippo looking name? Is it
the dude with the horn?
Is
I think it's
Leode?
I think it's like Lompert or something like that. I honestly already forgot. Find out. But it was just this really personal story of him trying to in a way make his dad proud and take on responsibility that he really wasn't looking for, but ultimately he is a hero for undertaking that journey. And that's what made this, again, like you said, 4 out of 5 for me as well, if I had to rate it.
It was the ending is like what Manny said, is what really sets this series apart.
Yeah,
is that against all odds, we got a good ending.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, the one thing that did have a major gripe, in my opinion, for this issue was, Twig just saw a friend of his, the Rhino, sacrifice himself for him. And
we have to
feeling
eat.
Bad for himself. He's very pitiful, and
let's make a meal.
What's that?
Like, let's eat. We're hungry.
No, that's the thing though. It's like, no, we're gonna eat, but I'm gonna pout. I'm gonna be upset. I failed my job as a placeling. I failed my friend. I don't know what I'm doing out here. I knew I was gonna suck. He's just like in this down mood, and Splat is just like, yeah, well, get over it. We got things to do. Let's go. And in the next page, he's like, you're right. I need to get over it. And he goes. Like it just goes. Like he deserves to feel the way he feels. Like he can feel those feelings. At the same time, I agree with Splat as well. It's like, you need to get over it. But the way he said it, like, just get over it, instead of saying like, we can deal with this later, but we have a journey to accomplish. But then it's the way that Twig was just like, you're right, let's do this, and then just goes off, and like, no, man, that's not how people feel things. He's an alien. I don't know. Whatever. That was my only major like. What's
Gripe.
going on?
Okay.
Like what? What's happening? But other than that, it was a good
Yeah.
story. And in the
And
art, it was completely beautiful. Like
yep.
they had some great panels of Twig like going through space.
Mhm.
Yeah, man.
Those were amazing. And like the colorist, John. Not why do they always have to have these names? I'm so sorry. But the colorist looks like he's French. John Francois B. I'm just gonna
There
say
you go.
B.
There you
There
go.
you go.
Yeah,
I don't want to
man.
mess it up. But it was just beautiful. And I just wanted to talk. Yeah, it made my top 5, but I wanted to at least mention it because I
Yeah,
was giving it
sure.
a lot of shit
And
as it went on.
and I really am happy that you get the last page like Twig will return. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It felt almost Marvel-esque, you know?
Yeah, like the MCU. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You
So
know.
it's cool, you know. Scotty Young's got a lot of books, man. Not a lot of books, I guess, but this one and then uh uh, Strange Academy is also scheduled to come back. Um I'm trying to
That
manifest
reminds
another
me
book.
though. That reminds me. Twig, greater than, greater than, greater
Here we
than
go.
the me
Here we
you
go.
love in the dark.
Also trying to manifest. I'm trying to manifest another volume of the Me You Love in the Dark.
Oh,
Am I
that'd be
wrong?
awesome.
Am I wrong?
So I
Just
don't
tell
know,
me I'm wrong.
but
Tell me I'm
you're
wrong.
wrong.
Was not. It was the best.
Sounds like someone's crying over here.
You need help. You need a
But
lot of help.
with that said, let's move on to our disappointments for the week. I this week, man, I don't have anything. I'm good.
Every week you don't got nothing.
That's not true. Just about every week I got something, and it's good that I don't have anything. Tell us what you're disappointed
Manny,
about.
how often does he go? I don't really have one this week.
You
Not
know
that
what?
often.
About as often as I do, because I don't have any disappointment this week either. But Nick, what's your disappointment?
Nick,
Maybe I am disappointed in something.
Yeah.
This is bullshit because this is the week
Bring
where
down the
I'm
news.
not supposed to have anything, and you
Bring
guys are
down the
supposed to
news.
complain about something.
You good?
You know what?
No,
Though? If
then
you
you're
want me to
good.
complain, I got it. Dark Crisis. This fucking sucks.
Yeah, so let's talk about Dark Crisis. Let's actually
You know
talk
what?
about
No,
it.
let's talk about it because you know what? That is a disappointment, but it's not the disappointment of the week. It's just been an ongoing disappointment.
Yeah, it's just a
It's a disappointment. It happened this week, and we have nothing else to be complaining about. So it's a disappointment of the week.
It's so sad that I have a coworker who, like, I was going to lunch and I was like telling everybody, "Hey, bye, bye," and then he stopped me. He was like, "Hey, Manny, DC is just bombing right now, isn't it?" And I was like, "Are you reading Dark? Are you talking about Dark Crisis?" He's like, "Dark Crisis." I was like, "Oh my god, yes!" Like,
but my question here is,
Wait, hold on.
What is
hold
the
on.
background
Hold on.
going into Dark Crisis?
Is this a coworker that you got into comics, or this a coworker that's just happens to be into comics and
he's been into comics for a long time, and he mostly stays with like the DC Marvel. He's been going into. I've been slowly like I got him into Radiant Black, so I've been telling him about indies and stuff. But I mean, he's got a pretty good background when it comes to DC as well. Like, he prefers DC over Marvel. So like him saying that wasn't a surprise of him saying that because like random person talking crap about Dark Crisis.
Yeah.
The surprise is that he truly enjoys DC comic books,
and he's like, this shit blows.
Yeah, he's just like, he's asking me, he's like, am I missing something because this sucks? So how do you feel about it? And I was like, this sucks. Let me tell you why.
So my honest opinion is, I was about to drop it. I looked through the issue. I said, okay, there's a lot of Barry and Hal here. Maybe it's not that bad. So I read it, and it wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be. It was still trash.
It ended with yet another antagonist.
Yeah,
that's
and
the problem.
And see, like, I guess my issue is that, dude, there's so much stuff going on, but also nothing's happening, and I don't like just nothing's
I think
happening.
the biggest problem is that they're making it seem like so much is happening, but it's not affecting any of the other main title books, but instead just their tie-ins, and no one's reading the tie-ins. So then you reference this whole World Without the Green Lantern thing, and you
Yeah,
got Kyle Rayner
and
dressed up as freaking Red Hood, and
Nobody
I'm like,
cares.
yeah, I didn't read that. What is
and
going on?
and and to me, I think the biggest issue is that ultimately, I feel like I just I just don't care, dude. You
Yeah.
know, like
The
Well,
I
I told you
the
guys.
only
I
main
just
series
I just
that
don't care.
tied directly in to this, the only main series out of all the ongoings that have characters in this book is Flash. And it made the whole Barry Allen thing, if you've read Flash, makes sense because they rescued Barry from
Mhm,
all the stuff that was in Infinite Frontier and Justice League Incarnate, right? Those are the two series that led
Mhm.
into this.
mhm.
Yeah.
I
So
didn't read I didn't read Justice League Incarnate, but
yeah, neither
I
did I, but I had the gist of it to understand, like,
yeah,
at the end
because
of
of
it,
Manny, like
Barry
he
got stuck
basically
and
filled me in.
whatever. But it makes sense. Like that stuff makes sense, and that ongoing had the storyline that led into this book. I don't need a tie-in. You have 15 ongoing titles. You couldn't tell them each character's individual thing through their Green Lantern has an ongoing title. Why
I
couldn't
mean, so uh, I'm not gonna criticize that part that much because you know, we also can't have, you know, like we can't complain on something and then want our cake too, you know, as like the saying goes. We when events happen, you know, we're like, dude, why the hell are we getting a break, you know, or
That's
having
true.
our main series like fucking tie into this event? I don't give a shit. Like, don't do that.
Yeah, but
Like,
a
you know,
one
and then-
issue tie-in is usually fine.
But also something as big as a crisis level event needs to be touched upon with other things.
right,
Yeah, but
but
if
but the
16
problem,
different series each have one issue,
yeah, but the problem here though is that from the very beginning they said that this is not taking, you know, place it's not taking place at the same time as all
Mhm.
the other, you know, as basically every single title that's out there.
except for
So
the Flash.
they should have, you know, if that's the case, then they should have, I don't know, man, like if the Justice League died, they would have had to set this up across, you know, all the main titles fucking months ago, so that all the storylines end up
But
shaping
the
up.
way the
But
way
then
that
again,
Dr. Williamson said, like, hey, this is not a joke, this is legacies taking over, blah blah,
right,
then you would expect that level of commitment, not just
right.
And
on the
So,
let's be
price.
honest,
and that's why again,
Marvel has done events to this scale the way we're talking about it. So there's no excuse for them not to be able months in
no, right.
advance to
I'm,
set this up and make it happen.
I'm not defending the setup at all. That, you know, like at all.
Sounds
I'm
like
just
you
saying
are.
that. No, I'm just saying that. I would rather have you know, minis that I can choose to either buy or not than tie-ins,
But
you know,
they're not
taking
even
over
minis, they're one shots.
or whatever,
No.
dude. Minis, one shots, whatever. I hate interruptions in my storylines when it comes to events. You know,
But if the whole
unless it's an extremely good event. You know, I mean, obviously, and if it is, you know, a whole world kind of event, and if it's not touched on in some of the comics, yeah, it's weird. But like you said, I'd be okay with one issue. That's it. Not
yeah,
fucking two, three issues. Like I hate that.
it annoys me because a lot of these one shots have ongoings. Like they just announced that there's gonna be the whole Green Man thing, the Swamp Thing one. Why couldn't Swamp Thing tie into it instead of you giving a whole other Swamp Thing issue? Like
Yeah. I
it's just
mean,
annoying because this was pitched as a world changing event that came out of those two titles we talked about, Infinite Frontier and
yeah.
Justice League
And
Incarnate, which came out of Death Metal, which was a full line changing event that fully took over the line. So
Yeah. And
with this trend of events, I would expect it to keep
and
on that
also
trend.
and also, I mean, like you brought up a really good point, Manny, when you said that this is supposed to be billed as like, uh the new generation and having to do with legacies and all of that. I mean, maybe it's just me, but nothing about this event really feels or makes me think or makes me care about the new generation that's gonna take over. Like it,
I feel like they're
uh,
bullying Nightwing, man.
yeah,
Yeah,
dude. And
it
then
feels like they
and then
canceled Teen Titans Academy to make the storyline matter.
and
Yeah.
it's like, and also it doesn't help that, yeah, I get that John is still finding his way as Superman. It's gonna be a process, all of that stuff, but still I still haven't really seen at least one scene where I feel like, hey, you know he's not just dropping the
Stepping
ball
up.
or feels like he's fumbling everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, I get it that he's not going to be his dad, he's not going to be Superman, but again, nothing has made me really fucking care. Yara feels like just like a placeholder. you know
Yeah.
um you know what I mean? I don't know
And I
that.
texted you guys this, but like in Flashpoint Beyond, this issue that came out this week, the very first line was 2 days after Dark Crisis, Justice League returns and blah blah blah. Like everyone's back. So it's like, why? Why did you tell us this? Now everything that happens in the next two issues of Dark Crisis mean really nothing that you set up is gonna be like, oh god, wonder if they're gonna get out of this one. They are. Justice League is back. Like
I mean,
it just makes no sense what's
and
going on there.
and again, I feel that it was just a really cheap cop out, man, to the whole Justice the Justice League dies. No, they didn't. Like, fucking.
Remember
I
when
don't know.
Nick thought that they died?
I
I
wanted
told
them
you
to die.
I told you guys from day one that they weren't gonna be dead, and there was gonna be this alternate, fucking, like, transportation kind of dream world, whatever bullshit,
I wanted
thing.
this to be a big event. The way that it was
Yeah,
pitched, I thought
It,
we
it was
all
gonna be
did. We
mentioned in
all
all the
wanted it.
yeah,
titles. I thought we were gonna get all the Bat characters in Batman taking over into kind of like
yeah.
how when he goes missing after is it Final Crisis?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Where
When
the battle for the
uh
cowl happens and stuff.
yeah, and when Dick becomes Batman, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But like him and everyone, they're all fighting over who's gonna whatever, and
hmm
it ends up
yeah,
being Dick. I thought they were gonna have some kind of like this during that book, while they
yeah,
also had their individual titles. I thought it was gonna be something cool, something interesting, like because they pitched this as like all these characters are now they've done all this work over the last couple of years. John being Superman,
yeah.
Robin now having a new costume and like breaking away from his father. You know, uh,
Dude,
all these characters like
per,
going on their
per,
own and doing something for themselves.
personally, man, what would redeem this entire event is, at least for me, believe it or not, is if fucking Cass became Batman. That's fine. Like, that would be cool for me.
Really?
Yeah, if
That's
Cass
it. That's
became
all they
Batman.
gotta do.
that
That's
one.
all
Yeah,
they gotta do.
I
that's all I
think
gotta do,
I'm
man.
honestly just as you guys were talking about, I was thinking, and I think the Flashpoint Beyond thing might be a risk, a misdirection. So like it's saying like 2 days after Dark Crisis, but Flashpoint
Probably.
Beyond is also dealing with time travel and
Yeah,
what is it? Rip Hunter is about he just showed up to kick Batman's ass somehow. And so I'm thinking at the end of Flashpoint Beyond, what if Flashpoint either gets destroyed or doesn't get destroyed, which messes with all the time continuum, and that's why it'll show up that Dark Crisis is going to end in a different way than what we think it's going to end like,
yeah.
and the Justice League actually
Sure,
Also,
dies.
I'm
That'd be
sure,
great.
annoyed. I'm
sure.
annoyed how they just disproved the whole omniverse thing.
You need to read
Yeah.
Flashpoint Beyond #5 because it talks a lot about that. Like Mr. Terrific gives a terrific description of the omniverse.
That's it.
The
Wrap it up.
the
That's it.
he talks
No,
about height
but
time. He
but
talks
in this
about all of that.
but in this issue, it basically said that that was a whole misdirection, and that there is no omniverse.
Yeah, but there is.
Is are we sure? First off, you're in a whole other world talking about this freaking
Right, but I'm
Flashpoint
also
stuff.
still in DC.
Yeah, but it could be talking about Earth 16.
I'm in Earth Zero.
You don't know.
I'm in Earth Zero and I'm in Flashpoint. Like, does
I I think that it's safe to say though that we found our disappointment.
I really hope
I
that I
told
just
you.
called it. I really hope that I just called it, and that Flashpoint Beyond is going to be the actual kickstart to boom, Justice
To
League
whatever.
died, Dark
Yeah.
Crisis actually happened, and legacy characters are taking over.
We'll see.
That'd be great. That'd be awesome.
Well, Wally took over, so we're good.
Yeah,
But
not Nightwing, because Nightwing's over here like crying. Woo-hoo. I'm not the guy's dead.
I
Let's,
relax. Those are the heartful. I enjoyed that scene with Jay.
No,
Not
anything
Jay.
that has to do with
With
Cyborg
Alan.
and Beast Boy right now, I'm just like, whatever. Like, I don't care. Anything that has to do with both of them.
I don't know. I really enjoy the OG Green Lantern. I think he gives good speeches.
The one that got punched in the face.
Dude,
Now I'm
he's
just
that
talking shit.
he's that
Now I'm
dad.
just talking shit to talk shit.
His whole thing is that he's like the dad.
He said, "You think you could take on the real one?" And then got knocked his ass down, and then he got carried away by a Flash. Man, that guy can kick rock.
on that
He's got
note,
two cool kids.
on that note, let's liven things up a little bit. You know, let's bring up the mood. Talking about our favorite covers, top covers for the week. For me, top cover, man, new champion of Shazam #2, Dan Hip variant cover.
Riding the
Dope
bandwagon.
cover, man, and
He really is.
and
Truly.
you got Happy there. I was day one, day numero uno.
No,
And we got
was
Happy there, man. We got Happy in the cover, so that makes it an automatic 10 out of 10 for me. Nick, what's your cover, man?
Very hard decision, and I was told I wasn't allowed to have a tie, which is a load of horse manure.
Only I can have ties.
Yeah, only Carlos can have ties every week.
Absolutely.
You can talk about your runner up, but you have to have one.
So this is my number one. This is the Jenny Frisian cover for
No, that's a beautiful cover.
4.
Yeah,
It
beautiful
is a
cover.
really good cover.
Beautiful cover.
Anything Jenny she's one of like the 5 artists cover wise that I'm just like, wow. Like, and it used to be Scotty Young was like that number 1 guy, but like there has been some misses, some covers that have come out that I'm like, okay, this is cool, but it's not a pickup. Every Jenny Frisian cover, all the indies, everything, they're beautiful. Manny's over here like about to like throw some knowledge at me or something.
I've talked enough shit in this in this stream. You know, I gotta dial it down a little bit, save something for the next week.
My runner up though is issue 1 of Alien.
Nice.
The variant cover. This is a really cool cover and a really cool story, so definitely check it out. Everyone support Alien.
I'm all about the Predator.
Support the Predator issues too. Support them. I want more. I want more. I want this series to be ongoing.
And for me, I want to start off by saying this is not a strong week for covers. Let me just start off by saying that. But Flashpoint Beyond #5, the B cover by, his name starts with an X, so I don't know if it's Zermanico or Hermanico, but that cover there is beautiful. It's got the Joker, Martha Wayne version. Got that blood, got that crazed look on her face, and the yellow background just makes it all pop. Beautiful.
That yellow background though is
not
is
a week for covers.
Hey, that toy cover? What is that? An homage to? Is that Star Wars?
I don't know, but it's a Scotty Young cover on a Scotty Young book, so it's cool.
Agree to disagree. No, I mean, actually no, I don't disagree. It is a cool cover. Like, just not enough for me to spend money on it. I can look at it though.
Yeah.
It's the same price. You could have just got that instead of the A cover.
Always the A cover. We know this.
So
We know this.
is the A cover on a Scotty Young book as good as the Scotty Young variant on a Scotty Young book?
We gotta see. We gotta see the covers. You can't determine
Yeah.
that.
And with me, if you're asking me specifically, I'm gonna get the A cover if I'm getting the series. If it's just a random book that I'm picking up, it doesn't have to be A cover and variant. I can just get the variant. But if it's a series that I'm collecting, A cover
So-
is getting bought.
So my question for you in
regardless.
that is there ever a loophole where instead of collecting the A cover, you will collect the if they have every issue has a variant by the same artist and it's a set.
It has
Will you
nothing to do
collect
with
the
the
set
artist.
instead of the A's?
Nope. It has to be A cover.
A cover. It
the
has
A
nothing to do with the artist. If it has something to do with the artist, I wouldn't be buying JR covers, man. Like, but I will say there was a loophole with New Champions of Shazam. I was only getting variants. I was collecting the whole series, but because the first one that I got was the Middleton variant, I didn't plan on reading New Champions. I thought
And then I forced
I
them.
really liked it. Carlos swore by it. Carlos made it his number one choice that week. And so like that really got my attention. So I read it. I liked the book. So I decided, you know what? I'm already getting the Dan Hip cover when it comes out as well. So let's just get the whole collection of variants. But I was reorganizing my stuff today, and that would put like a really big wrench in my organization. So I
So you got
said,
the A cover.
I'm gonna go buy the A covers. Tomorrow, I'm gonna go buy the A covers of 1 and 2, and then I'm only collecting 3 and
You guys
4 is just gonna
suck.
be A covers.
You guys are awful. I don't know why I hang out with you guys.
I'm
Oh,
just
man.
saying it's having character and organization. All right.
I don't know. Well, that's it for our covers. And now let's wrap it up with looking at what we're gonna be looking forward to next week. So hopefully next week is gonna be another really good week. For me, Age of Spider-Verse #3, because we're gonna be introduced into Felicia Hardy's, her spider persona. So I'm really looking forward to that. I love the design. Huge Black Cat fan. So really interested in seeing how that's gonna play out. And then I'm also really excited for the Bone Orchard Mythos. We're gonna be getting like the first actual comic, right, Manny? It's like an actual like
And
single
single
issue
issue.
comics, not like graphic novel.
Which I'm surprised you say that one for third.
Huh?
I'm surprised you said that one third. I'm surprised you said Edge of Spider-Verse before that one. Honestly. No, don't take it. No.
Mr. East is my #1 pick, and then everything else after that, there's no real order because
That's a lie.
And you can never go wrong with Captain Marvel. Really excited for Captain Marvel. Been enjoying Amazing Spider-Man overall, so we'll see what the next issue brings. Really excited that Patrick Gleason is doing the art on the next issue, I believe. So always excited about seeing him on Spidey art.
This one coming up?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's good to hear.
Yep. But that's it. That's it for me. What about you, Nick?
Not excited for Spider-Man. Being that this, after months, is the continuation of Hellfire Gala. We've been waiting a while for that. It's really annoying.
So you've been waiting a while for it, but you're not excited that it's finally coming out.
No, because it should have just been the next issue. But it's annoying. Because everything else has progressed.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for issue 1 of Midnight Suns.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm excited to see where that goes. Hopefully it's good.
I'm gonna get that too.
Be. What'd you say?
Why'd you say that so menacingly? What'd you say?
I'm picking it up too. I'm picking up Midnight Suns. Yeah.
Yes.
I know, right?
I don't know what you said. You said it very quickly, and I was very caught off guard. Yeah, I'm excited about that. First issue of Batman versus Super. Keep saying Batman versus Superman. Batman versus Robin.
Who knows? It might turn into Batman versus Superman situation. We don't know.
Maybe, but it's Mark Waid, right?
Soon.
Mark Waid's writing this.
Yeah.
Yes, Mark Waid. I love Mark Waid, and obviously all of us have really enjoyed World's Finest. I'm
Nope.
hoping it's another hit.
Me too.
And then
I'm actually really hoping that I'm gonna enjoy this because on the surface, I don't like the idea of Batman versus Robin, but who knows? It is
I
Mark
do.
Waid.
It's
It is Mark
gonna
Waid.
be a possessed Robin, and that's the dumb part. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Robin possessed by Nezha.
Maybe.
But
Yeah.
Maybe Batman's possessed by Nezha.
that too, honestly, that could
Yeah.
happen.
But to round out what I'm excited about, obviously issue 2 of Predator. I hope we keep with the momentum. And issue 4 of Dual Power Bomb. That's been a really solid series. I think Carlos hopped on that.
I read the first issue. I need to read the other ones because I only picked up the first one just on your recommendation.
Yeah.
So I haven't gotten back and picked up the rest. But
Yeah. Issue 3
I do
is
plan on getting the rest of them.
the series like explodes in issue 3.
Okay.
Like it gets really good. And there's a couple indies that I'm excited about. Hopefully I get them. So
Cool.
Manny,
what about you?
I'm just cracking myself up. That's pretty much it. No, you guys have pretty much taken all of them, but Miss Marvel and Venom is gonna be like the third iteration of that little mini series that's happening. I don't know, but they've been pretty good, so I'm excited for that. I'm surprised, Carlos, you didn't say Samurai Doggy. Number 2 is coming out, so I'm very excited for that. First issue was really great.
Yeah,
and I was just looking right now at Midnight Suns number 1. One of the variants is by Federico Vicentini. So and it looks pretty good. Not enough to I remember seeing it a couple months ago and thinking maybe I should get it or not. But the more I look at it now, I'm like, if I see it at the shop, I'll get
it.
If not, well, then the comic gods have spoken.
Yep.
It's always Blade that throws it off. Blade is the only thing from this team that I'm just like, go away, man. What are you doing here?
But he's like the only original.
Man, nobody called him. All right, like go back to what was it, Chernobyl?
Whatever. He's gonna show up in Moon Knight, and you're gonna be so upset.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it makes sense if he does. Honestly,
yeah. I honestly have never read many Blade comics, and while I don't dislike him, I really don't have anything against like Blade. I don't think that he's lame at all. I've just never really, really gotten into the Blade comics. But whenever he shows up for whatever reason in a comic, I always enjoy him, like kind of showing up. So I don't mind it.
What was that organization he was a part of in Britain?
MI13.
That was a really good series.
Yeah, I think it was MI13. Yeah.
Isn't MI13 like what James Bond is in? Or is that MI6? Never mind.
That's MI6.
Okay. Yeah.
But MI13 is like the supernatural or like hero division, whatever, of like England or some shit like that. But yeah.
And I think I'm just gonna round it out with Daredevil, and you know what? I'm a little excited to read Batgirls. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna throw that out there. I'm a little excited. Yeah. So I mean, all my books. It looks like it's gonna be another good week.
But yeah, those are our picks, guys. Thank you for watching. As always, please give us a like, subscribe, let us know what you guys are reading, what we should be reading, what you think about our picks, and we'll see you guys for the next show. And let's see what our brackets end up looking like. Thanks again, everybody.
Bye.